third base, he made drones confidently. That was greedy. He committed to the attack greedily with all those links. He made risky choices that could have cost him the game, but even when his tournament life was on the line, he was confident enough to make those choices. That means he has the confidence still, even down 0-2. Now he's 1-2. He can take the series coming back.
And I think he's got a good shot going into Frost now for game number 4. Here we are on Frost for game number 4, and down in the bottom right, in the red, losing his grip on the series a little bit. It is Solar.
And his opponent, horizontally spawned here to the bottom left. It is Dark. Actually getting a larger cheer from the crowd. Looks like they want him to take it back. We're going to have economic builds here. Players. About a 10 mineral lead for Dark somehow. Guess he made his first run a little bit faster or something.
Maybe better split, something like that. Very insignificant. What I'm thinking is anybody going to go for that third base build? I guess not, with the gases coming up.
Nah, it's... I think...
Because, you know, I mean, this is the map that Solar went for the, you know, pool all your lings and...
Yes, it was the final map.
Yeah.
And it was cross spawns, and he still pulled it off. I think the reason why we're not going to see that third hatch, or why we're not seeing it, is because the power of that build is not only in its economic value, but in the trickery. Even though Dark was not tricked, I think the reason why you do that on that map is because the overlord will cease so quickly. In this case, I mean, because they do scout, luckily, the right direction at the, and you know, it could kind of lead to the same conclusion on this map in these positions specifically, but there's no way to know that when you're making your first hatchery. Let's see what they decide to do here, because for me, I would love to see a really crisp roach timing attack from either of them. That's the kind of play we saw in the finals a lot. It's my favorite kind of ZVZ. When someone has the understanding of, okay, I want to attack now with this timing, no matter what build he's doing, this is still strong. I can execute this, I can micro it correctly. As a fan caster, you know, as someone watching this finals, this is just an exhibition match, really, but when I cast this, that's what I want to see. And this match is normally worth a lot more, but because these players are already BlizzCon seeded, their points don't matter. Just to clarify that for people watching. All right. Baneling Nest coming up for Dark first. And
Solar gets to the third base first, but it's going to be immediately scouted. So we'll see how Dark wants to respond to that. Does he want to go for another big attack? No, he's just going to take his own third straight away. And still no Baneling Nest here for Solar. He puts down a Roach Warren again. And we could see kind of what happened in game number 2, where he skips the safe Baneling Nest and he just gets the roaches out sooner and the faster upgrades and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, that's CVZ, that's Micro there. Dark Micro better. Ling speed finishing up for both. The Roach Warren obviously coming up here. You can start that Roach count, but it looks like it's going to be mostly a Ling-based composition from Dark. In fact, he may commit to the third base again in these positions. It's quite strong to attack. It's a cross spawn. This would be less viable, is what I'm trying to say. Controlling the Watchtower, nearly getting that Bane shot, setting up for it.
Solar really needs roaches to deal with these Banelings. I suppose you could try to threaten going for your opponent's third, and actually he is going to do that. But, I mean, the reinforcements come out, and I suppose he thinks his reinforcements are stronger with the roaches. But the Banelings do come back very smartly for Dark. They do clean that up.
Dark is going to get this base potentially if Solar doesn't get these roaches out. Okay. Gets them out. Roach Warren coming up for Dark.
This is what I was talking about. You know, he gets that faster Roach Warren. The Banelings essentially don't do anything, and they're like kind of wasting gas. Now Roach Solar is so ahead in Roach count that even though Dark will eventually catch up, he's going to get the best trade here, I suppose, on these left side Roaches, but more Roaches do join.
Yeah, the Roaches are just so tanky. Ravager cancel here, or probably just complete it. I think this is a strong build, what we saw from Dark, but Solar just intercepted it, slowed it down, bought time. If you don't come like at the right moment, this can actually work really well against you, but he just happened to catch it. Now he has this huge Roach lead. Baneling's crashing into these. Even if they get big AoE damage, it's not enough to stop these Roaches. Targets the Banelings first. He has one Corrosive Bile available. This is a slight overextension, but he's stopping mining from his base.
Needs to wait for those Speedlings to come across the map if he wants to have any hope of fighting. Now he's, a little bit overextended. Yeah. 2 of those Roaches very low. He will save them for now. Couple more Lings going in, trying to snipe them. I think he got one.
The worker count is dead even. I mean, both players are not mining from their third bases at all. But right now, the better, count in units here is for Dark. He has this together. A lot of the units of Solar are low on health, as you said. The production tab doesn't show you that. I mean, the unit tab doesn't show you that. But this is a healthier Dark army, and he's going to win this fight. Let's see if he sticks around, if he keeps committing to this.
It looks like he will. The Ling's doing a great job tanking. Solar slowly trickling away his units.
Solar overcommitted with that push, and now the counterattack is so strong. Transfuse to keep this Ravager alive. Too many Roaches here, though. Now in the mineral line. Baneling going to go off as well. GG! We're going to Game 5. Dark! Can he do it? Can he come back here?
Will it be a reverse sweep? Solar, he's slowly losing his grip, as I said it before, and that looked a lot like the Frozen Temple game of the finals, where it's like he sees blood in the water and he overcommits, just barely, but that's all it takes when you have a fast enough unit like a Speedling to punish you if you overcommit, even when they're so close at those positions. Yeah. Third base at third base, just didn't matter.
Really good control on both sides, though. I was very impressed with Solar's hold of the Baneling sort of pressure that we saw from Dark, because he just slowed it down by running Lings around repeatedly enough to where he could get his Roaches out. If he messes that up, or if those units just simply get to the base, period, then you lose the hatch, because you can't just run circles around the units anymore, because the units will just kill your hatchery then if you do that. So you have to fight, and if you have less, then you lose. And he also has Baneling, so he did everything he could to defend that. What ZVZ is called by many a knife fight matchup. You make one mistake, you die, and that's
very
what
volatile.
happened there.
Very punishing, he made one mistake and he died. Essentially, he was playing so well up until that point. Then one overextension. If he just, goes back and sits with this higher Roach count, like we saw him do, I think in Game 1 or Game 2, then he just gets very far ahead. Even just try to throw down an earlier Evo chamber, get an earlier lair, just get ahead in that point. As you said, they were exactly even in drones, and if he just sat back and defended, there was not much that Dark could do.
Yeah, really not. And now we're going to this final game. I want to actually look at the map list. I don't even know if we have that, because we didn't know who was going to be in the...
Dust Towers.
Okay. Oh, I could have just looked at the lobby. Yeah. I'm terrible. I'm fired. Put the papers away. Yeah, okay, so Dust Towers, big map. 2-player, though. This could be the map where Solar cheeses again in the final game. Pools Lings. Yeah. Because Dark doesn't drone scout, he only Overlord scouts, so it's definitely something that we could see.
Something that Solar's also not doing. He did more drone scouting in the finals than he's done today.
I think he feels like he really understands Dark's style. I think Dark is starting to change it up, and that's starting to cost Solar these games. The last game was not so much that, it was a decision to attack a base, which I think he thought maybe Dark was droning, but he wasn't, and he was making units, and so not only did he stop the push, but he killed him with a counterattack. He didn't have, I guess, an Overlord in position to see the drone count at the third base. I'm not sure, I'd have to look back, but if he had an Overlord there and he was looking, he would have known there were no drones there, and that was probably best to not attack. But he was ill-informed, or he made a poor decision based on the information that he had to attack there. Cost him the game, but, these things happen in ZVZ.
So back and forth. I'm just glad that Dark held on and he didn't give in to the pressure, and he was like, okay, I can do this. I can come back and win a couple of games, because as we said, it's so volatile, you can get into your head. But Dark is just such a confident player that I think he's been in this position so many times as well, where he's just like, yeah, I can come back. Come on, let's do it. Let's think about how we can win this one. And we're going to be going into Dust Towers, which is the map that Solar went for that very, very heavy Ling style with Ravager's support and the +1 melee, where you try to get the surround and then just Corrosive Bile, and your Lings tank, and they do a lot of damage with the +1. Or no, they get the +1 armor, actually, so they don't die to Banelings. That's what it was. You get +1 armor. Yeah. It applies to all your units, and also your Lings don't get one-shot by Banelings. So he 1-8'd into a huge amount of Banelings, and he lost all his Lings, and that's